the Ministry of Justice of Ukraine adopted the order of the ministry number 248. This is a document on adoption of peculiarities of entrance of people to military higher educational institutions, and this order introduces a number of changes in the entrance procedure under current condition. The Ministry of Defense of Ukraine also gave the right to the citizens to enter these educational institutions, and servicemen that were recruited, and also citizens of Ukraine, civilians that are exempt from military service, and also the students of civil educational institutions who want to enter military educational institutions. They have the right to take part in selection contest by the results of exit examinations, also entrance examinations. Also, they graduates of military lyceums, they have the right to enter military educational institutions with the results of entrance examination, or also they can use the results of external independent assessment. Also, they can the servicemen who serve under contract can undergo distance learning to obtain the degree of the bachelor. Also, the order of the ministry regulate the order of the entrance to higher educational institutions for those people who are registered in the temporarily occupied territories and that were forced to leave this territory and that live in other regions of Ukraine. So they can apply to the military commissariat or directly to entrance examination commission of the higher military educational institution, and their documents will be processed by the military educational institution. So the ministry continues to work on the roadmap, and there is the ministry now review those documents that will be implemented from 2016 till 2020. These are 68 draft legislation, 2 laws of Ukraine, 1 decree of the president, 3 acts of government, and 62 orders of the Ministry of Defense. Also, they prepared 24 orders of the ministry and 4 decrees. Also, the ministry continued to return the property of the ministry and lands back to the ministry. So they returned the land of all army firing ground in Odessa Oblast that was illegally taken by one of the enterprises in 2007, and the Odessa Court of Appeal rejected the claim of that enterprise, and these lands were returned, and they obliged these people to return the land to the owner. So the owner is the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. This year, the ministry concluded 106 contracts and additional agreements for the sum of 3,418.5 million hryvnias. During last week, state enterprises supplied to the armed forces of Ukraine 14 new MAZ car and 1 Kras car. And during this year, they provided more than 3,200 units of weapons and 58 units of ammunition. Repair brigades during this week returned in the ATO area about 200 units of weaponry and military equipment. These are anti-aircraft weapons, armored vehicles, tanks, howitzers, and anti-tank complexes. So from the start of ATO operation, they created a system of supply, and they were able to repair 49,000 units of military equipment and weaponry. This effective implementation of state order is provided with the help of military representative officers of the Ministry of Ukraine. They prevented excessive spending of budget funds for the sum of more than 598.5 million hryvnias. Also, military representative officers ensured the transfer of 4,192,000 hryvnias to special fund of the Ministry of Defense. This money is for the services and repair works for other law enforcement structures due to recommendations provided by internal auditors. And with the results of audit and monitoring, the auditors assessed during the last week the contracts of the Ministry of Defense, and they prevented excessive spending and losses for the sum of 13,000 million hryvnias. And they reduced the cost of repair works for 11 million, and also they also prevented excessive spending for 1.5 million hryvnias, and also they reduced the cost of construction of housing and capital repair works for the sum of 800,000 hryvnias. So from the start of 2016, the Ministry of Defense prevented excessive spending for the sum of 88 million hryvnias. Also, they provided recommendations on effective management of state and material and financial resources for the sum of 1 million hryvnias. And during last week, they identified the risks in the fund and property management for the sum of 11 million hryvnias. And from the start of the year, the sum is 605 million hryvnias. Thank you very much for your attention. This is the end of the press briefing.
Шановні колеги,
Dear colleagues, the next briefing is at 10 o'clock.